What is up, YouTube? This is DeFGandolf coming to you with another World of Tanks video, and I am here in my ISU-152 with the brand new Trollcannon installed. Now, the Trollcannon is not brand new to the game by any means, but it is brand new to me, and it is a heck of a lot of fun. So I guess you consider this my first thoughts video for the ISU here. And I have to say, I really do enjoy this tank. Today I've got kind of a replay double header for you guys. And so I've got two games lined up. I've got this one and one other. Both, I think, are two of my better games in the ISU-152 so far. I have had one game that had... I did more damage and got more XP, but my team lost because I failed to clutch the game because my team melted around me and left me 1v4, and I killed 3 of the enemies and left them down to 1, and then I got killed by the arty that was left because he was a good player, and we were attacking on an assault map, and so yeah, I got kind of screwed over. But regardless, this game I'm in a standard battle with a fairly decent matchup, a few tier 9s on each team. This is probably about average matchmaking for the ISU. You will usually see at least a couple of tier 9 tanks in most of your games, and sometimes you will even see tier 10s, as this is a standard tier 8 tank. Although it doesn't matter when you see tier 10s in the ISU-152. This gun is just absolutely incredible. Get a load of this. This is a 152mm BL-10 gun with 750 average damage and 286mm of penetration with standard armor-piercing ammunition. That's top of the line. That is the best in tier 8. There's only one other tank, I believe, in tier 8 that has 750 average damage other than artillery with standard armor-piercing shells, and that is the RHM Borsig. But the Borsig also only has something like 175 pen, I think. Maybe it's 200, I can't quite remember. But this gun has 200mm of penetration, and the rate of fire isn't horrible. The reload time is actually quite comfortable for me. Then again, I guess I am used to this as I have used the 152mm derp gun on the SU-152, which has a very, very similar reload time and playstyle. So far in this game, I've encountered an enemy Jagdtiger 88, which me and a Super Pershing easily took down, although Super Pershing lost most of his HP because he decided to just sit out in front of a Jagdtiger's 88's gun, which is never a good idea, especially in a Super Pershing, which only has something like 170 pin with its main gun. That's not even enough to pin the lower plate of the Jagdtiger 88 unless you use armor-piercing composite rigid ammunition. So, the ISU-152, as far as its other ammunition choices with the BL-10, you have some very nice APCR ammo with an incredible 329mm of penetration. That'll go through pretty much any tank in the game as long as you aim well. You might have some trouble with, say, the Maws or something, but again, as long as you aim well and hit the lower plate, you can go through there easy. Now, the high explosive ammunition is basically just like using the 152mm derp gun on the SU-152, or very similar to the gun on the KV-2, the 152 on the KV-2, when you're firing HE out of that, except for the fact that it has, I believe, 50 higher damage and a fair amount more penetration. Now you see me wiggling my gun around there because I was just kind of bored, and this is the gameplay style that you'll have to develop to do well in the ISU. You will be doing a lot of sitting near the rear. You will have to do a lot of just kind of waiting in each game. And at first, you may not look like you're going to be doing very much damage, but it will come. Especially if your team does like my team did. Now, the BL-10 also has actually fairly good accuracy. I'm surprised by how good its accuracy is when compared to how big the shell it is. Or big the shell is that the gun fires, rather. So, at this point, we've lost the south end of the map. My team has just completely lost that part of the map. So, in 103, I prioritize over the Tiger 2 and the T-32 because A, I'm pretty sure I can one-shot the M103, and B, he's a tier 9 tank that can give me some major problems if I don't go ahead and get him out of the fight. I've already taken a good bit of damage from that hit from the ISU-152. I really wasn't expecting his HE to be able to do that much damage. And now this T-32 on 735 HP, which is not exactly low on HP. I'm not sure if I was spotted here or not. I think I was, but it doesn't matter. He disappears from the... he becomes unspotted right as I shoot, but he goes down anyway. So now I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for the Tiger to come. But I notice, oh my gosh, I'm the last one left. They're all coming up behind me. So at this point, I'm just kind of panicking. Tiger 2 has actually been going around the bottom, which I should have suspected to begin with here. And at first I'm like, maybe I can get a one-shot to come around the corner, but then I figured, no, let's just go for the ammo rack on the Tiger 2, although unfortunately I don't get it. And right here, I do a very nice piece of angling. I was just trying to throw off the shots of those enemy tanks. The armor on the ISU-152 is nothing spectacular, but you can, if you angle your armor just right and force them to shoot the gun mantle, it will bounce. The gun mantle is the only strong part of this tank's armor. So what I did there is I just kind of flared my tank out to the side a bit and gave them pretty much nothing but the gun mantle to shoot at. And they hit it and bounced and failed to penetrate. So with that game, I did a total of just over 3,000 damage, 3,338 damage done in this game. That's a fairly good number for a tier 8 tank, especially ones with a gun such as the BL-10. I had one game that I spoke of earlier at the beginning of the video. Yeah, I think it was probably 4.7k damage, but it just wasn't a good ending. But this game, albeit I got rushed and I was the last one left on my team, I do like the fact that this kind of shows the gameplay style that you'll really have to develop to do well in the ISU-152. So now we're going to move on to the next game, and I'll see you guys there. Alrighty guys, I am back here on the map Hidden Village, and this is a pretty nice matchup, a tier 8 game this time around. And I'm going to be playing some major base defense this game. Unfortunately, it doesn't end much differently than the last one, but again, it's just a good way to show the playstyle that you really need to develop in the ISU-152. There are some other ways to play this tank. I have had some success being fairly aggressive, but generally this is a passive tank. Now, another thing to note is that I do not have the top engine unlocked or the upgraded suspension unlocked for this tank. I actually used the equipment enhanced torsion bars, which increases the load capacity of your vehicle. I actually used that so that I could go ahead and mount the BL-10 without having to first research the tracks, because I really wanted this gun. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of sit defensively. We've got M41 Bulldogs, we've got one over here by the mountain, basically immediately in front of me, and one over by the town. Although I see at this point that the town is going to get overpowered, so instead of moving along anywhere, I know that I'm probably going to have to sit around in this area. I see the T-29 about to come over the hill. This T-29, I really want to get rid of these guys. I don't want to have anyone on my flank when the enemies start coming from the town. But unfortunately, my first shot flies a little bit high, hits his turret, and fails to penetrate, as the T-29 does have extremely good turret armor. Although this time, if I remember correctly, he's not going to get quite so lucky next time I hit him. And again, I just really want to get rid of this guy so I don't have anyone on my left when I'm trying to engage the enemies as they come out of the town. So I'm just waiting for the T-29 to reappear so I can deal him a nice 750 average damage, 152mm shell. But I see this wild T-71 coming up out of the field. I hit him one good time for 712 HP, which takes him most of the way out of the game, and now we just have to give him a parting gift, which the IS gladly delivers. T-29 has popped back up on the map, I assume spotted by either the return of my Bulldog friend or the IS. Now, if you look at the map in the town, we only have 2 tanks remaining and they're being flanked. I know that they're not going to last much longer, I'm just waiting, trying to get that shot off at the T-29, but I'm not gonna get it. I just don't feel like I'm gonna be able to get it. I'm really paying attention to that Tiger 1 to see if I can give my guys some flanking fire, and I don't really have a good shot. That shot flew a little bit left and a little bit low, and actually he skimmed the top of a roof and exploded. So unfortunately I did not get the kill on that Tiger 1 and did not manage to save the remnants of what was left in the town. So at this point, I'm fairly certain this is going to be a loss. The enemy team has stalemated our strong push in the west. They have stalemated it, and the town has completely fallen. Here's the T-29 again. He doesn't get so lucky that time, although I don't get very lucky either, only rolling for 658 damage, I think it was, against the T-29, which leaves him a fairly large health pool left, which is not what I wanted. So now I've got an AMX M445. I really want to get a shot into that guy and leave him on 1 or 200 HP and hope that my IS can deal with him. And all the while I'm backing up, and unfortunately I back into this building, which really slows me down. I'm just waiting for a shot opportunity. M445 comes around. Alright, put one into him, leave him on just shy of 200 HP. Again, I rolled a little bit low, only rolling for 712, but I say only 712. That's still a massive amount of damage dealt to a tier 8 tank. Now I'm going to focus on the T-69 and KV-4, as they are the closest threats, KV-4 being the closest. And then the Tiger 1 pops up as well. I've got a nice shot on him and send him back to the garage, rolling a little bit high for 763 damage. Now the Bulldog is coming around, and at this point I know I'm dead. I managed to bounce 2 shots, but after that it's pretty much over for me. I try to focus on the Bulldog, and I think I hit him once. There we go. I take away most of his HP, and that's all the damage I'm going to get. I'm surprised I actually managed to bounce as many shots as I did this game. Like I said, the armor, with the exception of the gun mantle, is nothing to be proud of. So that game I finished off with a total of 3,609 damage done. And again, that's a pretty good game. That's a little bit better than average game for me. I tend to average about 2.2 to 2.7k damage per game with this tank, unless my team just completely fails or is so good that I don't get any damage done at all, which does tend to happen sometimes. So if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, and if you want to be sure that you don't miss any of the great content coming to my channel in the near future, be sure to head over there and subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, be sure to drop in the comment section below. This is DeFGandolf signing off. Later, guys.